Hey Tim, I am just loving that outfit. Nice job on the Hawaiian theme.
I got all kinds of things on it, and I'm not quite sure whether or not I'll be taken seriously. But before we started, we were talking about next week, next Friday. So
yes,
maybe we apply our minds to that over the weekend.
Okay. Whatever you suggest, I'm sure I'm up for it. I know I mean, it is a Hawaiian print suit that I'm wearing, but I know it's a little bit tame in comparison to where you've gone. So well done, big effort.
Thank you. I think you won last week. I'll claim victory this week.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I'm happy to share. All right, a couple of things have happened overnight. Both Western Australia and Victoria have come out with some assistance for landlords and or tenants. Can you sort of talk us through what's happened?
I don't have the in-depth or the granular view of it, but I am aware, because it came out yesterday afternoon as part of it, and the second reason I don't know a lot about it is I'm struggling just to understand what's happening in New South Wales. But having said all of that, they have brought some stuff out. They brought it out yesterday afternoon, as I said. And the interesting part about it, we're starting to see some recognition now that the landlord might be doing it hard as well. So finally there is that understanding in there that that's the case. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what comes out of New South Wales on the 11th of May, given what's happening here. And we, the Institute, as you know, Leanne, have given a commitment that we are going to ramp up all of our messaging and our lobbying powers and our media activity between now and the 11th, so that the government won't die wondering what our view is.
Not that they have before, let's be honest. So you and I have been on a call this afternoon with the Minister and with a range of stakeholders. And so I think it's fair to say we think there may well be some more relief coming out after the 11th. We don't know what it will look like or what the number is, but we think it's fair based on what the other states have done. Yeah,
I think that was mixed up in the call today, as always with government. They tend not to tell you the detail of things, and it's very, very difficult to get them to commit to anything. But yeah, I thought the minister had an understanding of at least our side of the fence, our concerns, and what landlords are going through and the difficulties there. It's not just a tenant problem. And I was pleased to think that actually started to resonate in the conversation.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he was very clear on that message. A couple of other things that they did say, there's more funding going towards NCAT because they do recognise that it's not timely at the moment. So hopefully that will see resolutions coming from NCAT faster.
Yeah.
And also they also understand the issue around landlord insurance. We're getting sick of talking about landlord insurance.
Yeah. We are getting, we're tired of it, but we keep begging them for some guidance on it, because they talk about, as we know, we've said it over and over, you've got to negotiate in good faith, but if you do, then you void your insurance. So all I'm asking for is a way forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So they also indicated that there are some more guidelines that will be on the Fair Trading website, and we should see those. Did I hear that correctly? And maybe the end of next week?
Yeah, they did say it. I don't recall exactly the date on them when they said that they would do it, but we monitor their site very closely. So as soon as it comes up, we'll be all over it.
And we did put a bit of pressure on both the team and our beleaguered property managers to help us with some data to support our arguments with government. And we just have to say a massive thank you to all of those property managers that actually did take the time to fill it out. We got a great response, and we are going to continue using that information and that data. As you said, we're really ramping things up between now and the 11th to make sure that the government's very clear on what we need from them. Yeah,
and again, I'll echo those comments, because without data, our arguments are very, very difficult, because you're just in the "I reckon this is the case," rather than being able to to actually point to the numbers and say, well, my position is supported by this. So again, I thought it was fantastic that the property managers did respond so well, because we know only too well the sort of pressure that PMs are on now out there, in some very, very difficult circumstances. So for them to take the time to do that is wonderful, and I do thank them.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have our webinar with John Cunningham this morning, which I thought was a fantastic one, really focused on our business owners. One of the things that the property managers can take out of that, though, is that John does a weekly video that goes to landlords, and it's just basically communicating directly to the landlords where things are up to, just making them feel safe, which is what really we all need in turbulent times. So I think that was awesome, and if anybody wants to ask me any questions around that, please just feel free to send me an email or to put a comment in on Facebook, and I'll come back to them directly.
It'll be for those people who didn't who weren't able to watch that webinar. It's really worthwhile going and having a look at it. I mean, the message that I came in there with was, the world has changed, so we've got to change with it. But I was amazed when John took it another step further and said, hang on, there's a lot of opportunity here. This new environment that has it's turned everybody on their head. But John was actually seeing opportunity, and I thought that was amazing that he went down that road.
Yeah, absolutely, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. So next week our webinar is 10:30 on Friday morning. It's the gorgeous Tangerlee, and that is for anybody, whether it's admin, whether it is business owners, property management, salespeople. It's a great session for everybody. So make sure you tune in for that. So Tim, the JobKeeper program.
Yeah, great question. I try and steer clear of all of this. It's not really our area, but and our friend Brian Wilcox at Reef is probably where the question should go. But having said that, I am aware that it is evolving quite rapidly, and the criteria to satisfy to actually get the JobKeeper has changed and is changing. Because they're recognising that not all businesses are the same, and in real estate, as you know, there's some people commission only, and then wages and etc. So they are one of the things that you can now do, as I understand it, is to be able to make some predictions about what your income is going to be in the future. Yeah. And so that of itself, I think, opens up some additional opportunities. So people,
for sure.
So people got the opportunity, I think members got the opportunity to view their business through a couple of different lenses, and just to see which one works for them.
That's not to say there's not complications with it, particularly around the debit credit salespeople, but as you say, that's not our space. We have, we will, in today's EDM, we will include a link to Reef's latest information, and obviously they're the people to direct those questions to. From a media perspective, Tim, we've got another ad in the newspaper tomorrow.
Yes, yes, we do. We have. It was the same that was in on Wednesday, and again, if any of our members are close to their media, and a lot of agents obviously are with their advertising. So if you are close to your media and you could get that particular ad run again in your local area, be very, very happy to give it to you. We don't know that we're going to be shut down, but as you always say to me, be quiet when don't even say it out loud, which is good advice. But let's take the problem on before we have one, and let's make the argument that we are an essential industry. I think the argument can be made and made well, but we need to make it and get ahead of the game.
And of course, we are calling for the state government to consider a dramatic decrease in stamp duty, because we really genuinely believe that will stimulate buyer demand. All of the salespeople listening, well, certainly all the people I've been speaking to in the last couple of days have been surprised at how many potential buyers and sellers there are still in this market. Yeah. So I think that would really have a massive stimulus.
Yeah, and that particular press release which we put out, and I know that it's being repurposed in a number of publications, but
Yep.
but it was a pretty simple message. Far better to get 25% of something than 100% of nothing. You know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And another thing which I have to give you credit for was all of the other transactions that come out of the property transaction that everybody in this periphery, if you will, spilled out of it, and how that then had an positive economic flow on. So, you know, I think the argument can be made well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a massive flow-on effect when properties are on the market and then ultimately sold. So just a couple of things. Obviously, Anzac Day tomorrow, we are able to do private inspections. Businesses can be open, but we suggest you do respect that, you know, after 1 p.m. It is the right thing to do. It is what community expects, but there is not a legal obligation on you for that. We've just, like I said yesterday, we've just been so happy with the feedback we're getting from all of you about our daily updates, but we do think it's probably time for us to cut it down to maybe 3 times a week. So Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Next week, we'll see what happens. If there's any major news, obviously we will bring it to you, but that's our plan, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And just in closing, Tim, we've had a lot of new members. We've had one every single day of this month, which is not something that normally happens. So that's pretty exciting. No,
it's been quite remarkable, actually. It's the amount of engagement we've had and the new membership. It's not something I predicted, but I think the reality of it is that the materials that we're now putting out, the contemporary materials that we're putting out in relation to dealing with COVID, has driven membership. People just need to be updated with everything, and also to have the right documentation. And
as somebody said to me today, it's just amazing. It gives people a sense of support and relief, and they said it's kind of like having mum and dad looking after you again, which is kind of nice. So yeah, that's fantastic. Anything that you want to close with?
No, I don't think so. A shout out to Maine for their publication tomorrow. Again, thank you very, very much. They pick up all the bills for this, so they're good support for the industry. And for the property managers, we're thinking of you. You're doing an amazing job. So we're doing everything we can for you, to be honest with you.
And we'll see you. We'll see what next Friday's theme is. It might be. It could be sparkles if you leave it up to me. All right. You have a great weekend. I'll speak to you very soon.
Yeah. Stay safe, everybody.